Over the years, we've had a good selection of Kirby games be released, from the classic Kirby's Adventure on the NES to the recent and different Epic Yarn on the Wii. It was on April 27th, 1992 that we got our first Kirby game that started an entire gaming franchise. That's right, we just passed Kirby's 20th.
Kirby of the Stars was released on the Game Boy in Japan in April of 1992. In August of that same year, we got the famous Kirby's Dream Land in the US and PAL regions. 20 years ago, Kirby was a little different than what he is today, much simpler in terms of gameplay. This is probably why his first game is overshadowed so easily, more people remembering Kirby's Adventure on the NES as Kirby's first big outing. Even I'm guilty of this, giving praise to Kirby's Adventure and Kirby Superstar, but rarely to the game that started it all. It was this game that gave Kirby all his basic attacks. He can suck in enemies and shoot them back out, and inhale air to float and shoot that puff of air back out. But it wasn't until later that he got the ability to copy enemies' powers, dash, and slide. Kirby can swallow his enemies in Dreamland, but it doesn't do anything. Masahiro Sakurai intended Kirby's Dream Land to be a simple game that all players could enjoy and play easily, so the mechanics didn't go too far beyond the ability to walk, jump, and attack. Not that later Kirby games got heavy on the mechanics either. It was also a very short game, perfect for a portable, but at the same time, an experienced player, or just someone who has managed to beat the game once, will find it to probably be too short, being able to beat it in no more than 15 to 30 minutes. But despite that, the levels are memorable. Probably the best thing about Kirby is the amount of charm to everything. You feel the atmosphere and get that sense of adventure pretty easily. So even with the short levels and easier gameplay, getting through the levels is fully enjoyable, which is an important factor obviously. Be it from the first level Green Greens to the end, I think most people will enjoy this game for what it is, and if not, at least for that retro charm. Now the levels do have the possibility of being a little longer. While the game really can just be walked right through from the first door to the next, and be almost automatically progressed, there are other areas to go to and see if you so desire. Most of them are just different scenery, but there are hidden lives and power-ups as well, so you can try and extend things if you want. The enemies and the bosses all have a unique personality to them, but in fact, some of them shouldn't really be called enemies, but cute little distractions that can oddly hurt you. We probably should feel bad for destroying so many little sweeping witches, just trying to keep their castle clean, those poor little sweeping witches. The bosses don't present much of a challenge though, but with a few wrong moves or bad timing, they can get you. This is helped by the fact that they either take up a whole screen, or you're just kept in tight quarters. You have to love the iconic tree Wispy Woods, but probably the best are the cannon attached to the balloon and Lolo with Lala. Yep, if you didn't pick up on it from the name of the level being Castle Lolo, the bosses at the end of the level are Howl's classic heroes Lolo and Lala. A cute little homage. Unfortunately, the final boss, DDD, is a big waste of time. He's just tedious, more so than the other bosses. It's just a lot of waiting and walking around until you can suck up a star and take a shot at him. Prior to him, you also get to go through a little rewind of all the previous bosses with a mini version of their level as well. Of course, there's no talking about a Kirby game without addressing the music. At least, I feel this way. This is the game that started it all with some of the mainstays in the series. For example, the theme for Green Greens has found its way in a lot of games. Each tune is what really gives the game its feel. It's super happy overtones in this adventure of trying to save everyone from a tyrant keeping all the food for himself. While it isn't the best in the series, there are some catchy tunes for this little portable title. While Kirby's Dream Land has its faults and hasn't aged as well compared to the other titles in the series, it was a great starting point for the series. After 20 years, I still find myself popping this card into my original Game Boy for a trip down memory lane. If you want to do that yourself, you can grab the game pretty cheap, be it on eBay or at a local store. It's easy to come by. But if you have a 3DS, it is available there as well. I'll see you next time.